Hello, my CFA friends. How are you, my friends? Happy 1st of August, my friends. So we are going to be interrupting the regular educational schedule here because we are now officially in the month of the exam, so I wanted to take a break from studying today. Well, I mean, obviously you shouldn't take a break from your studies, but I'm going to take a break from uploading educational videos because I want to lean back and strategize and tell you what you should be doing in the final weeks before the exam. Okay, so let's get started. So, firstly, let's address the obvious point. We have not a long time left, so we need to be doing a lot of questions. I mean, pretty much most of our time now should be questions. And if you're thinking, hey, Martin, I haven't finished reading oaths, or I haven't understood derivatives, or, put your own placeholder there, I'm going to say one word: excuses. Please don't find excuses. Okay? Draw a red line. We are now in August. We got to stop what we are doing and we got to go full on into questions. And when I say questions, the main source of questions has to be practice exams. No doubt about it. Okay? So if you're going to be running a marathon, you cannot prepare for a marathon by doing little jogs around your garden, okay, if you have a garden or around the block. So you need to be doing practice exams. You need to be doing 4.5-hour exams, my friends. And so very, very important, they have to be timed, okay? Time your exams. So what I did, basically, I went on Amazon and I picked up a very, very cheap kitchen timer. Okay, so it's got buttons, nice big buttons. It's got 1 minute, 5 minutes, 1 hour, and it's very easy to set for whatever time allocation you want to be working with. Now, remember, this exam has 2 parts, 4.5 hours, and then each part is 2 hours, 15 minutes, I believe. Now, I never set myself the full nominal time for these things. Why is that? Well, because I'm going to an exam room, right? I mean, things can go wrong. The room can be hot, the room can be cold, my computer may not be working, I may need to switch computer. Guys, I've heard them all. I've heard all horror stories about things going wrong across all the various exams that I teach, like the FRM, the CFA, and so on. Okay, so always be on the cautious side. So instead of basically giving yourself the full amount of time, give yourself maybe 2 hours. Okay, set that kitchen timer to 2 hours. When it rings, be ruthless. Stop and grade yourself at that point. Have a little Excel spreadsheet and stick your scores for each and every mock at that 2-hour mark. Okay, very, very important. Now, once the clock rings, then you can go back and finish the problems in your own time. Take as much time as you want, but I want to score myself at the 2-hour mark. Secondly, my friends, how many mocks should I complete? How many practice exams should I complete? Now, if you're hoping that I'm going to tell you complete 2 or 3, you're going to be setting yourself up for big disappointment. My friends, I want you to complete all available practice exams if possible. Now, we're going to do a little calculation whether that's possible, depending on how many you've already completed, and probably you should already have completed some. But that's a topic for another day. So we're just going to look forward here and decide what you can do in the remaining days. So very, very important. Each practice exam should take me 2 days to complete. What? What are you talking about, Martin? 2 days to complete? What's going on here? So first thing, never ever do mock exams back to back. You might think it's a good idea to say, oh, I've got, 7 days remaining. I'm going to take some study leave from my employer. and I've got nice clean 7 days for 7 mocks. Do them back to back. A terrible, terrible idea. So first of all, you're going to get very tired doing that. So like running seven marathons back to back before the real thing. Secondly, guys, you're not leaving yourself any time to learn from the mock. So it's a common misconception. People think that doing the mock is what's teaching them. No, my friends, no. It's actually the debrief, it's the actual full analysis of the mock that's teaching you. It's the day after the mock. So if I'm doing a mock today, 4.5 hours, right, or 4 hours as the case may be. Maybe I have a bit of time at the end of the day to score myself, to see essentially what went wrong. But it's the next day that I'm really doing the work. I'm leaving no stone unturned. You know me, I don't leave any stones unturned. Next day, I'm going to know about each and every question why I got it wrong. Okay, I'm going to fully analyze this thing. So when we are doing the debriefs, the analysis, we're going to place questions in one of 3 buckets. So the first bucket is the correct questions that we knew were correct. So we basically applied the correct methodology from the start to the finish, and we got the right answer. Now, there is another category where you kind of thought you were doing the right thing, but you're not 100% sure, but you still got it correct. So those ones you might have to also look at. But the ones that you really, really need to focus on is if you got something correct with an incorrect methodology, I call that lucky guesses. Actually, you can do otherwise, but I actually mark them wrong in my mock exams. I don't want to give myself a sense of overconfidence. I want to give myself the worst possible result in my mocks so that when I actually show up to the real thing, I get positively surprised. So I don't want to give myself 80% on this mock because I was super lucky and then go in the exam room and actually turn out not to be as lucky. I want to say, right, if luck is completely against me, what is my worst case score? And then obviously I'll walk into the exam knowing that even if I had to guess a few questions, it will be extremely unlikely that I would be super unlucky and guess them all wrong. Okay, so lucky guesses, mark them wrong, and the minute you mark them wrong, it means you have to fully debrief them. We're going to talk about what it means to fully debrief them, but you have to do that. Incorrect, right? So you got it incorrect from the start. You didn't know what you were doing. Sometimes it could be incorrect with the correct methodology, aka fat finger risk. Now, if you've got an incorrect and you don't know why it's incorrect, obviously we'll have to analyze it fully. If it's fat finger risk, generally it just means do more mock exams, get more fluent, get more versatile with the calculator, with the material, you will get there. So if it's fat finger risk, nothing that you can do about it immediately other than just keep pushing. Keep doing more exams. Now, what does it mean to debrief the questions? Well, first, read the solution. That's an obvious one. Have a look at the back, read the solution. It may make sense. It may require you to then go back to the textbooks, read that piece of the textbook or even the entire chapter. Maybe you want to go back to the end of chapter questions and do extra examples from there. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you 2 days, my friends. So if you, let's say, now had 14 days remaining, the maximum number of mocks you can do is about 7. And if you haven't done a lot of mocks, maybe some of you haven't done any mocks yet, guys, get started now. Okay, get started now. Now, also, in terms of the final weeks, final days, especially the day before the exam, I want you to be looking at key concepts. I want you to be looking at key formulas. So what are these, tough key concepts? For example, duration, convexity. These are key concepts, obviously. And consequently, they will have their key formula, especially if there was a formula that was difficult to memorize. You can't get it quite in your head. Those are formulae that you're going to have to look at again, obviously the day before the exam, the days before the exam. Also, go over the wordy areas. I don't know about you guys, but it's always easier for me to memorize a little process, computational process, than to memorize a big list of disclosures or requirements or things like this. So obvious elephant in the room here when it comes to wordy areas is your ethics, is your GIPS. So this is a perfect candidate for something that you want to look over in the final weeks before the exam. So don't underestimate ethics. Ethics is a make it or break it type of topic. Legend has it that if you are a marginal candidate, the examiner will actually look at your ethics score. And if you are particularly outstanding as far as ethics is concerned, you might actually be promoted from a marginal fail to a marginal pass. So pretty good incentive, if you ask me, to study ethics, not to mention that ethics is at level 2 and level 3. So you're not really wasting time there. You're basically also putting some work towards the next two levels. So in terms of the split between question practice and reading, this is the common misconception. There will be a boatload of students who are going to just want to read until the night before the exam. Those candidates will simply not pass. Sorry about it. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. They will not pass. The people who will pass are the people who gonna get their hands dirty with questions. And the magical split, and obviously this is an indicative split, don't hold me for that, but I want you to be doing most of your time should be questions. So that first number is the questions, the second number is the reading. So 85% question practice and 15% reading. So when I said question practice, I meant mock exams, maybe a few related questions once you know what obviously you are getting wrong in the mock exams. And the reading is normally the reading of the chapters to understand the mistakes. It's no longer just kind of passively, oh, let me read about forwards today. No, it's going to be reading with purpose because maybe you got a forward pricing or forward valuation question wrong on your mock exam. And now another point that may be obvious once you say it, but people actually don't do it. People, my friends, they like to feel good about themselves. Nobody wants to feel weak. Nobody wants to feel stupid. Everybody wants to feel good about themselves. So there's a natural tendency for all of us, me included, to focus on our strengths. So basically, I understand, let's say, equity because I work in equity. And so I just keep reading equity and, keep thinking how great I am because I understand everything in those chapters. There's diminishing returns here, okay? So if you already know 70, 80% of a particular reading of a particular topic, you should not be looking at that topic, okay? You might get an extra percentage point or two, but that's not going to help you pass the exam. In fact, you should be focusing on your weaknesses. So you should come out of your comfort zone. Don't sit in your comfort zone thinking, okay, here are a few topics that I understand and let me just recap those topics, but I really hate XYZ, so I'm actually going to try to, basically pass without fully understanding it. No. You're going to go and you're going to face your fears, my friends, face your fears. So what are the 3, 4, 5 worst nightmares? Go face them. Okay, you really want to try and turn them around. So, for example, fixed income is a beast, probably much harder than equity. So a lot of people might be tempted to not study it sufficiently simply because it's unpleasant. Derivatives, unpleasant, right? There's quite a lot of concepts there. Derivatives, fixed income, these are obvious topics where you're gonna be pressing the pedal to the metal, my friends. Okay, so I hope this kind of general advice is useful. And I'm now going to move to some unrelated but very important advice as well. Now, I don't want to turn this into a philosophical discussion today, but health is wealth, my friends. Okay, let that sink in. Health is wealth. Your health is your most important asset. The time that you have on this planet is your most important asset. Okay, but as I said, I'm not going to turn this into a philosophical discussion. All I want to do here is I want to tell you how important health is for your success on this exam. So one thing that people do is they get very, very stressed. They get very focused on studying. Okay. And of course, that means that you're obviously stressed, you're obviously tired, maybe you are not sleeping enough, maybe you are not eating well. You're basically very stressed. Okay. You're very exhausted by the time the exam hits you. And you're not doing obviously as well as you could on exam day. So that's not a good strategy, as you can imagine. Don't ignore your well-being, okay? The mind and the body are connected. If your mind is sharp, but you have neglected your body, the problems that develop in your body will affect your mind. It will affect the sharpness of your mind. So you need to really, really pay attention to your body in the final days before the exam. So what are obvious things we can do? Eat well, okay? So now I'm not going to get into nutrition here, carbs, fats, and proteins. You do your own research there, but I want you to eat well, okay? I want you to sleep. So that means get enough sleep hours. Go to bed relatively early. Wake up also early. I don't know how your brain works, but I like to get some work done in the morning because as the day progresses, I get less efficient. So as I wake up, I want to do, for example, my most technical study in the morning. And then as the day progresses, maybe I'm going to look at less technical stuff. As I said, we're going to have to look at ethics and so on. Exercise, my friends. Now, people forget about this. Look, I don't have time. Guys, you have time. If you ever say about anything you don't have time, it's an excuse. You're just you're manufacturing excuses. Human beings are very, very good at manufacturing excuses. So don't make up excuses. You have enough time for anything you want to do in life, including exercise. So basically, make sure you're exercising, make sure you're getting your heart rate up, make sure, cardio, if you need to do some resistance training for your muscles, but get that heart rate up, get that blood flowing around. It's going to help your brain as well. And it's just going to relieve any stress levels that you have. So, for example, when I was studying for my level 1, and I was doing the mocks. Remember, I was doing lots of mocks back then, but what I would do is I would do the first mock, and then I would go for a nice long jog. Then I'll have my lunch, and then I'll do the second mock. You don't have to do it this way. I mean, you can do anything you want, basically, that you think works for you guys. I'm telling you what worked for me. And I know, obviously, that now the exam is very different. In my days, it was 3 hours, 2 hours mandatory break, another 3 hours. Now, obviously, you got the optional break. Very, very different. But exercise, my friends. You will see how sharper you are after exercise. Now, you may want extra help from me. Okay, so these are all recordings. You are not able to talk to me in real time. So maybe you want extra help. So the obvious ways that you can get help, first of all, you can support my channel at www.stoyanov.co.uk/revision. My friends, this is just £4.99. Okay, let that sink in. If you have watched tens of hours of these videos and you've gotten immense value from them. Now, this is a course. If you go to one of the major providers, they'll sell you this course for hundreds of dollars. If you got that for free and you are not sure whether you want to give back £4.99, I think you need to look at your ethics there, my friends. Okay, so when you receive a lot, you should be prepared to give back something. But that's okay, another topic. I want to say, if you support the channel, you also get question-based revision. And I'm building it. It's not a complete product, but you get basically accounting, derivatives, I believe equity is there. I believe fixed income is there. Some equity is there. Some fixed income is there. So you're going to get something for that money. But definitely try to support the channel. Try helping me. And obviously, it's going to help you as well because you're going to get some question-based revision. Also, I'm available for exam clinics. Students love to book exam clinics with me the month before the exam. So these are one-to-one, so it means that it's just you and me on Zoom. So we can look at your problems, if you have any problems, last-minute worries, typical things that we do with students. We go over problematic questions from the practice exams. You've done a mock. You've got 30, 40 questions that you don't understand. You want the tutor to go over them with you. And we may not be able to go over all of them in 1 hour, but we will do our best to go through as many as possible. This is probably the most efficient way in which we can spend our hour. But also some students simply come to me and say, well, let's talk about, let's say, a particular topic in derivatives because they find it tricky. So I put together a little lesson on that. Yet another group of students simply come and say, look, Martin, I don't have any specifics that I want to ask you. I simply want a pat on the shoulder and I want to strategize with you. I want to know exactly how to play my exam day. So again, we can do that. It's a 1 hour with me. And if you're interested in that, you will need to email me or link me in. The email address and my LinkedIn are in the description to the video. So I look forward to hearing from you, my friends. But apart from that, I wish you all the best in the upcoming exam. And I will keep uploading video a day where possible. And I know that obviously anybody sitting in August will not have access to maybe all the videos, but we have done a pretty good job considering that I only left my employer on the 1st of June, so I was not able to upload before then or even produce videos before then. So yeah, we've had basically around, 60 days to do a job here, and we've done an amazing job. So we've got the main areas online, so I hope this is helping you guys. And I wish you all the best. And I shall see you on the other side of level 1. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.